There's something women pick up on almost immediately when they meet an older man. Not his age, not his appearance, not the car he drives or the watch he wears, something deeper, something he doesn't even realize he's broadcasting. It happens in the first 10 seconds, before he finishes his opening line, before he orders his drink, before he makes his first joke or asks his first question. She already knows, not through words, through energy, through the way he holds himself, through what he's trying to prove and what he's trying to hide. Most men have no idea they're doing it. They think they're being charming, confident, engaging. They think they're playing the game well. But she's not listening to what he says. She's reading what he doesn't say, and what she reads tells her everything she needs to know about whether he's still living or just performing the memory of living. The thing women sense isn't confidence. It's not wealth. It's not status or power or physical fitness. Those are easy to fake. Those are easy to project. What they sense is whether a man still has agency over his own life, whether he's still the author of his days, or whether he's become a passenger, whether he's still choosing or just reacting, still building or just maintaining, still hungry or just comfortable. They can tell within seconds if he's given up on something essential, not his career, not his body, something quieter, something he probably doesn't even have words for. It shows in his eyes first, not how he looks at her, how he looks at the world, whether there's still curiosity there, still appetite, still the capacity to be surprised or moved or disturbed by something. Most older men have eyes that have settled, eyes that have seen enough, eyes that have made their peace with diminished expectations. She sees that immediately. That flicker of resignation disguised as wisdom? That acceptance disguised as maturity? That slow retreat from possibility disguised as knowing better? He'll say all the right things. He'll be interesting and interested. He'll ask questions and tell stories. He'll be everything a man is supposed to be when he's trying to attract a woman, but underneath all of it, she senses whether he still believes his life can surprise him, whether he still thinks something new and unpredicted could happen, whether he's still open to disruption, or whether he's built walls around his routine and called it peace. Women are attracted to men who are still in motion, not physically. Psychologically, men who haven't finished becoming who they are, men who haven't decided that this is it, this is the shape of things, this is how it will be until it ends. Age doesn't matter as much as arrest. Whether a man has stopped, whether he's concluded that the interesting parts are behind him, whether he shifted into maintenance mode and convinced himself that's maturity, she can feel that shift. That subtle deflation, that internal resignation that says I've done my living, now I'm just running out the clock. It's in how he talks about the future, not whether he has plans, whether those plans feel like genuine desire or just obligation, whether he's still reaching for something or just filling time until the next milestone. Most men don't even realize they've made this shift. They think they're being realistic. They think they're being responsible. They think they're being grown up. But what they've really done is negotiate down their expectations so far that their life has become a waiting room. Comfortable, predictable, safe, and utterly devoid of the kind of uncertainty that makes someone feel alive. Women sense this because they're terrified of it themselves, especially women over 35, over 40, women who are trying desperately not to make the same bargain with diminished expectations. When she meets a man who's already made that bargain, who's already accepted the quiet fade into routine and sameness, every cell in her body rejects it. Not because she judges him, because she sees her own potential future in him. She sees what happens when you stop believing anything genuinely new can happen, when you stop being curious about what you don't know, when you stop wanting things that scare you a little. This is why younger men often attract older women. Not because of their bodies, because they haven't settled yet, because they're still figuring things out, still making mistakes, still hungry for experiences they haven't had, still capable of being stupid and reckless and alive. The older man who still has this quality, this openness to disruption, this willingness to be unsettled, stands out immediately. She feels it in the first conversation, in how he listens, in what excites him, in whether he's still learning or just confirming what he already believes. Most men think women want stability, security, someone who has it all figured out, someone who won't surprise her with chaos or uncertainty. But that's not what makes her feel attracted. That's what makes her feel safe. And safety without attraction is just partnership, just companionship, just two people managing a shared existence. What makes her feel attracted is sensing that his life isn't finished, that he's still capable of change, still capable of being moved by something unexpected, still capable of wanting something he doesn't have, not wanting her specifically, just wanting in general, still having appetite, still having drive that isn't just momentum from the past. This is what most older men have lost without realizing it, the capacity to want something that requires them to change, to grow, to become someone slightly different than who they are. They've convinced themselves that not wanting anymore is evolution. That contentment is the goal. That being satisfied with what they have is maturity. But what they've really done is confuse exhaustion with enlightenment, resignation with acceptance, giving up with growing up. And women sense this immediately because it's death, not physical death. The death of becoming, the death of transformation, the death of the parts of being human that make it worth doing. She's not judging him for it. She's protecting herself from it because she knows how easy it would be to slip into that same comfortable numbness, to stop wanting things that scare her, to stop doing things that might fail, to stop becoming and to start being. When she meets a man who's already there, who's already made peace with the slow fade, every instinct tells her to run. Not because he's bad, because he's finished. And finished is contagious. The men who understand this don't try to prove they're still young. They don't buy motorcycles or chase younger women or start dressing like they're 25. That's just another form of resignation, trying to reclaim youth instead of continuing to evolve. What they do is stay genuinely curious about ideas, about people, about themselves. They stay willing to be wrong about things they've believed for decades. They stay open to experiences that might change how they see the world. They read books that challenge them. They have conversations that make them uncomfortable. They try things they've never tried, not to prove anything, because they're genuinely interested in what they don't know. This quality, this openness to continued transformation is what women sense. It's not about age. It's about whether a man has decided he's done learning, done changing, done becoming. The 40-year-old man who's already settled into permanent routine, who knows exactly how every day will go, who has no questions left about himself or the world, who's built a comfortable cage and convinced himself it's freedom. She senses that immediately, and she knows that being with him means accepting the same cage, the same routine, the same slow erosion of possibility. The 60-year-old man who's still genuinely curious, still reading, still questioning, still doing things that might fail, still interested in becoming someone he hasn't been yet. She senses that too. And it doesn't matter that his body is older, that his hair is gray, that his face shows decades of living. What matters is that he's still living, still in motion, still becoming. This is what women sense in those first 10 seconds. Not what a man has accomplished, what he's still reaching for. Not where he's been, where he's still willing to go. Most men never understand this. They think aging is about accumulation, building wealth, building status, building security. They think the goal is to arrive somewhere comfortable and stay there. But women know that arrival is the end. That the moment you stop moving towards something, the moment you convince yourself you've arrived, you've started dying. Slowly, comfortably, but dying nonetheless. She's looking for a man who hasn't arrived, who's still on the way to somewhere he can't quite see yet, who's still willing to be disrupted, still willing to be changed by what he hasn't experienced, not because she wants chaos, because she wants to know that being with him won't mean the end of her own becoming, that his energy will meet hers, that they can both keep moving instead of settling into shared stagnation. This is why age gaps work when they work. Not because he's older, because he hasn't let age make him static, because he's still in motion, still curious, still willing to be wrong, still capable of transformation. And this is why age gaps fail when they fail. Not because of the years, because he's stopped, because he's decided he's done becoming, because he wants her to settle into his finished life instead of building something that's still growing. She senses this in 10 seconds, before words, before stories. Before any of the performance begins, she senses whether he's still alive or just living, still becoming or just being, still open or permanently closed. And no amount of charm or wealth or status can fake that. Because it's not about what he says or what he has. It's about whether there's still movement in him, still hunger, still willingness to be undone and remade by what he doesn't know yet. Most men have lost this without realizing it. They think they've grown up. They think they've matured. They think they've found peace. But what they've really found is the comfort of no longer trying, the relief of no longer reaching, the ease of no longer risking who they are for who they might become. And women sense it immediately, in his eyes, in his energy, in the space between what he says and what he means. They sense whether he's still writing his story or just rereading the chapters he's already lived, still exploring or just touring the familiar, still hungry or just fed. This is the thing women sense in older men within 10 seconds, not age, a rest. Whether the becoming has stopped, whether the man is finished or still being written. And once they sense it, no performance can change it. No charm can hide it. No strategy can overcome it. Because it's not about what he does. It's about what he still wants, what he's still willing to risk, what he's still willing to become. And most men stopped wanting to become anything new a long time ago. They just haven't admitted it to themselves yet. She knows within 10 seconds, before he finishes his introduction, before the conversation really starts. She knows whether he's still alive or just breathing, still becoming or just being, still open or already closed. And knowing that changes everything,